that you're ahead of me. I like the place. If I had to list the things I like best about Britain, I'd start with London. It's the greatest city in the world. I love the sprawl of it, its unknowable vastness. I love the way that every time I look at an A to Z, I find whole districts that I'd never noticed were there before. Lesness Heath, Snaresbrook, Plashet, Fulwell Cross. I'm not sure of the exact moment I realized that I was going to like London very much and forever. It may have been when I saw a sign by the sink in the men's room at the British Museum that said, "For casual ablutions only, please." Then again, it may have been when I discovered that in a single small area of the city, there were churches with the resplendent names of St. Giles Cripplegate, All Hallows Barking, St. Sepulchre without Newgate, and, yes, I think this may have been the moment, St. Andrew by the Wardrobe. On the other hand, it may simply have been the first time I got into a black cab. Taxi? London cab drivers are, without question, the finest in the world. They're friendly, cheerful, exquisitely polite. They keep their cabs spotless inside and out, and they go to the most extraordinary lengths to deliver you at the front door of your destination. To my mind, there isn't a more gracious experience in the world than this. Some people like black cabs so much that they buy them for their own use, like the Duke of Edinburgh, or the odd actor, like Stephen Fry. So at least it's turned out nice.
Yes, wouldn't trust it though if I were you, frankly. I wouldn't be surprised if it started peeing down in about, well, an hour.
Pardon me?
Sorry?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't start peeing down in about an hour. Summer? Ha! It's a joke, isn't it?
Why a black cab?
Well, I think there are two reasons. One is anonymity, but also, I have to confess, it also is a lot quicker. A cab is like a piece of clothing, and you put it on, and it's sort of, you don't develop stringent views on immigration and actually turn into a cabbie in that sense. But you do, you kind of, as I say, because you feel so much that you don't do all this leaning on the horn and sweating and shouting if there's a queue. You just take it as, you know, because you know that cabbies would die of a heart attack within 6 months if they reacted hysterically to the way traffic moves, because it's just so awful. Up yours, mate. Yeah.
Any chance of a cup of tea before we get there?
Do you know, I think there's a damn good chance I know somewhere not far from here. There we go. That'll be £725, please.
The two most distinguishing features about cab drivers, in my experience, are that they cannot drive more than about 200 feet in a straight line. No matter what the road conditions, at least once every quarter of a mile they must abruptly dodge down an alley. And a certain preoccupation with money. To get a cab driver to talk, just ask him who are the best tippers.
You never know. Do you know people get in the back of your cab and they chat to you, they're really friendly. It comes to £4.80. They give you a fiver and you give them a 20p change and they walk away. Yeah. You get someone else in there that hasn't said a word for half an hour. When they get out, they give you a £4 tip. They just walk away. You never know who's going to tip you or what they're going to tip you.
You can't tell at all.
No.
Yeah. Australia could be the richest man in the world. The first thing he says to you is, how much would it cost me to get to Waterloo? Not take me to Waterloo, and you say, I don't know, £7 or £8, do it for £5. Love a deal. And they're staying in the top hotels. How much would it be to go to Heathrow?
The New Zealanders do, but the Aussies don't. They don't tip you nothing. The Americans work it out. They go, wait, I want to give you a gratuity. Yeah. That's what they call it. They work out 10% or something like that. Yeah. And for some Americans that can be difficult, you know?
Yes.
I think he's taking the mickey.
I hadn't been cab driving very long, and I came past the Criterion Theatre, and they was doing a re-showing of Oklahoma, and Howard Keel was starring in it. So he said, doorman came out, so I've got a fare for your cabbie, you know. So anyway, this enormous guy come out, Howard Keel, with a bottle of scotch in his pocket. And he pulled down both windows in the cab like that. He said, I've got no money. He said, but I sure can sing a song. And we're driving down the Strand singing the Surrey with a Fringe on. There was like a megaphone coming out the back. And we got to the Savoy and he said, pay the driver. He said, give him £1 on top.